In the quiet expanse of the Epsilon Nebula, far from the bustling trade routes and galactic conflicts, Captain Aric Sterling of the Celestia drifted through the cold void. His ship, a once proud exploration vessel, had been repurposed into a salvage hulk, a testament to humanity's quest to push the boundaries of space. Yet, despite the ship's wear and tear, Aric still had hope that the next mission would bring them something useful. He never imagined it would bring him face to face with a woman who would alter the course of his life forever. The sensors had pinged for hours, a faint signal, barely noticeable, yet persistent. Aric had thought nothing of it at first. It was probably another derelict ship or a dead comm relay. But curiosity, and perhaps a deep-seated need to prove himself to the crew who often mocked his idealism, had led him to investigate. The small craft he discovered was adrift, damaged, and its occupants seemingly lost. Through the porthole, Aric saw a single figure lying motionless on the floor, an alien woman. Her skin was pale as marble, her hair long and black as the abyss of space, and her armor, though battered, held an unmistakable elegance. Aric made the decision to board the vessel and rescue her. He hadn't expected her to be conscious when they retrieved her, but when they breached the ship's hull and pulled her aboard the Celestia, her violet eyes fluttered open, locking onto him with an intensity that took him by surprise. Who are you?" she whispered, her voice a strange mixture of melodic and commanding. "I'm Captain Aric Sterling." "You're safe now," he said, though he was unsure what had drawn him to the alien woman. She was no ordinary traveler. He could feel it in the air around her. The woman slowly tried to sit up but winced from the pain in her side. "Where am I?" she asked, her gaze sharp and calculating. "We're aboard my ship, the Celestia. We found you drifting in space. Can you tell me what happened?" Her lips pressed into a thin line. "I am Kallira," she said, her voice steadier now, though tinged with an odd bitterness. "I was a prisoner held by the Kylrax, those who betrayed my people. But I escaped. Barely." Aric could sense the weight of her words, the desperation behind them. As much as he wanted to ask her more questions, his training told him to offer the basics. Medical attention, food, shelter. The Celestia was not the place for diplomacy, and yet, something in his gut told him that Kallira's story was far from ordinary. Days passed, and Kallira recovered in silence. She would occasionally wander the ship's observation deck, staring out into the stars as if she were searching for something, but when asked about her past, she refused to answer. Aric didn't press her, though his curiosity gnawed at him. His crew, however, was not so patient. One evening, as the ship cruised through the barren edges of the nebula, Lieutenant Tara Choi, Aric's second-in-command, pulled him aside. "Captain," she said in a low voice, glancing over her shoulder to ensure no one could overhear. "I don't trust her." "Who?" "Kallira." "Yes. She's not just some lost traveler. There's something about her. Something that doesn't sit right." Tara's eyes narrowed. "I've seen her watching us, studying us like we're some kind of experiment. And the way she's healed so quickly. It's not natural." Aric raised an eyebrow. "You think she's hiding something?" "I don't know, but I've got a bad feeling. It's been eating at me ever since we picked her up." Tara paused before continuing, her voice lowering even further. "The way she moves. She's a trained warrior, Aric. I've been in enough combat situations to recognize it." Aric felt a knot tighten in his stomach. He had known from the start that Kallira wasn't ordinary, but this new revelation made him uneasy. Could he have been too trusting? "Keep an eye on her," he said finally, the words feeling heavy in his mouth. "But don't make any rash moves. We're in uncharted space. We need to figure out what's going on here. Tara nodded, but Aric could tell that she wasn't entirely convinced. That night, Aric couldn't sleep. He found himself standing in the observation deck, gazing out at the empty void, when Kallira appeared beside him. She stood there in silence for a while, her hands clasped behind her back, her gaze as distant as the stars themselves. "Something troubles you," she said, her voice soft yet piercing. Aric turned to her, his brow furrowed. "I'm trying to make sense of things. Who are you really, Kallira? You're not just a prisoner, are you?" Kallira's eyes softened for a moment, and then she sighed, as if burdened by a heavy secret. "I am the last heir of the Grolli, a royal bloodline of the Arixian Empire," she said, her tone tinged with sorrow. "I was betrayed by my own people, cast aside and left to die at the hands of the Kylrax." Aric's heart skipped a beat. "You're a princess." "Not by choice," she murmured. "My family's throne was stolen. My father, the emperor, was assassinated. My mother taken prisoner. The Kylrax, they're not just rebels. They're conquerors. And now they control everything my people once held dear. I was meant to die with my people, but fate had other plans." Aric's mind raced. He had unknowingly rescued royalty, an heir to an empire on the run. And yet, despite the vast disparity in their backgrounds, there was an unspoken understanding between them. He saw not just the warrior, but the burden she carried. "You don't need to carry this alone," Aric said, the words escaping before he could stop them. "We'll help you. I'll help you. We can make things right." Kallira turned to him, her gaze unreadable. "You don't understand. The Kylrax will come for me. They will come for you too if they know you've spared me. There is no making things right." Aric shook his head. "We have to try." In the days that followed, Aric's decision haunted him. He had spared Kallira's life, unknowingly aligning himself with a royal fugitive. The Celestia was not equipped for war, and yet the Kylrax would surely come, drawn by the scent of betrayal. The stakes were higher than he had ever imagined. Soon enough, his worst fears came to pass. A massive Kylrax warship appeared on the sensors, its sleek black hull cutting through the void like a predator stalking its prey. Aric had no choice but to engage. The Celestia was outgunned and outclassed, but there was no time to turn back. The Kylrax demanded Kallira's surrender, and if they didn't comply, the Celestia would be destroyed. Kallira, standing at Aric's side, looked out at the advancing enemy fleet with a cold resolve in her eyes. "You can't win this fight," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I can." In a moment that would change the course of their lives, Kallira activated an ancient relic from her people, a device capable of unlocking the latent powers within her bloodline. The ship's systems faltered as a wave of energy surged from Kallira's body, engulfing the Kylrax vessel in a flash of blinding light. The Kylrax were forced to retreat, their ship crippled by the burst of energy, but the victory came at a great cost. Kallira collapsed in Aric's arms, her energy spent, her body weakened by the strain. "I didn't want this," she whispered as Aric held her. "I never asked for this power." "You didn't have a choice," Aric replied softly, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "But you've given us a chance to fight back. And we will."